think Glen is a very peaceful place. It's very humble, and I like the people around here. I'm originally from out east. East is too noisy, so we moved out here. So everyone's kind of working the whole year, so it's good for everyone to come together and celebrate a great day like this together. And Glen, wonderful place. We need to see more community events in order for people to come out of their houses and meet other people and just experience the great places that we have around Glen and just have a good time.
What's special about Glen is the fact that the community can come together and have a great day out. I like the fact that it's not too far from the beaches, but it's not too far from the city either. What brought me to Glen, my husband. I actually grew up in Pakuranga and met my husband a couple of years ago and moved out here.
About Glen, well, it's for me, it's definitely about the people. When you're walking on the street, you can say hello to anyone, and anyone will smile back at you and say hello back at you. And what I'd like to see more in Glen is things like these, more events, so we can bring the wider community together, celebrate the different cultures, the diversity that we have.
I lived in Glen some time ago for about 6 years, so I know the place fairly well, and now I work here in the local board office in Glen Mall. From the perspective of a wheelchair user, it is actually quite difficult. There's lots of different areas, footpaths at different levels. Just even in Glen Mall, where I'm based, I'm up on the top part. Even just to get down to the lower part, it's quite difficult in a wheelchair. Mind you, I have a little mobility scooter, so if I do need to get around at lunchtime or whatever, I just jump on that and whiz around the shops. Well, I particularly like the railway station because I travel to and from work via train. It's run on a similar trust to the Swanson railway station, which I'm the chairperson of, so we have an identity and a ethos around that, and it kind of connects the community around the cafe, and just people, you do all sorts of things, but people do kind of have a thing about their train station, and maybe I'm just one of those nerds, but I've got quite an affinity with the trains.
Like its old school feel. It's not really commercial like some of the other suburbs. And I won a competition in Glen. It was the Glen Art on the Street competition. So I won the inaugural one, and then I came third in the last year's one. So thank you to the people of Glen for voting my the best entry. Yeah, I do like the art in Glen. I like that little stream that runs through Glen Mall Place. I like the murals. And they're really innovative, starting that competition. I know actually there was another competition in Westfield Mall, in Henderson Mall, and they took Glen Art on the Street competition as a model for the mall's one.
Just participating, supporting one another and things like this, and the carnivals, the fairs, schools, and that sort of community support. Neighbourhood watch is really important, keeping each other safe and making sure that our children and families are really safe. So, it's very, very important.
Glen is not boring. It's not a boring place to live. All sorts of interesting characters here, actually. I think events like this obviously show that people want to get together as a community. Probably the Playhouse Theatre. I grew up performing there. And I think actually that's a really cool place in Glen because, I don't know, I've seen a lot of kids come in really shy and stuff, and then you put them on the stage and get them to perform something, working as a group, and suddenly they bloom.
They're just starting to do some community events, so that's great. This one is a really good one. So yeah, and that part of it's been free, so that's been brilliant for the kids.
Well, it's the closest place to my grandchildren, but I also just love wandering all the little bushy secret paths by the stream. So I live in one of the little glens by the stream, and where my grandchildren can play and we can be at peace. I do a lot of work with at-risk families, families where I know there's the potential for violence and abuse and unkindness, meaning just those that happen to come my way. Because I work with PORSE, that's the Organization for In-Home Childhood Education, in-home care, and I really like the idea of doing more work at that level to ensure that more mums, solo parents, are supported, and of course, you know, families as much as possible. The fathers and mothers are together and are supported to hold that family in love, in the aroha and stability, non-violence. You know, that's what I'd like to see happen in Glen Eden.
Yeah, hi, my name's Cherry. It's my daughter, my granddaughter, and my great-granddaughter. And we've lived in Glen Eden for over 40 years. We bought a house in Glendale Road, which is a family home, and then my daughter built down the back. Now she lives in Oratia. She still lives in Glen Eden with her daughter. Yeah, we love Glen Eden because of I don't know, it's a down-to-earth people, a good community. I don't know, there's quite a bit of poverty in West Auckland, I think, you know, and a lot of unemployed people. And I think if I had a magic wand, everybody would have a job, everybody would have a lot of money, and yeah.
It's walking up the road and knowing people. I know West Auckland like the back of my hand. You know, when you drive up the road, you know which direction you're going. Yeah, and you walk along, you wave when you're in your car because you see people you've known all your life. Yeah.
What I love about Glen Eden are the people, connecting with the lovely people, good neighborhood, lovely children that goes to Prospect School. They're all lovely, and yeah, I love the environment and the area where I live. It's everybody get along. The environment, and the trees, I love, the fresh air of the trees. The best education for our children, the schooling, and yeah, that's the main thing, because the young children of Glen Eden are our future. So I would like them to have a best future, and good education.
Well, I like the location, the setting, the fact that it's at the foothills of the Waitakeris. I love the hills, and I love to me, it has a villagey effect, and I love that about Glen Eden. I think I would like to see more people become more connected to what is happening in Glen Eden, and I'd like to see more projects like like gardening, food planting projects, and cleaning up the streams.
It's filled up with wonderful people. It's fun. Yeah, fun.